Welcome to the Packer Mentality Podcast. I'm here to keep you updated and provide insights on everything Packers, both on and off the field. To my dedicated listeners and viewers, a huge thank you for your continued support. All of you are key to the growth of this channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe, leave your comments, and join me on social media at Packer Mentality. You can find this podcast on all major platforms as usual. We are less than 48 hours until kickoff. The Packers and the Eagles are in Brazil. It is so good to finally be here. Let's break down the game. As far as injuries go, the Packers listed Tucker Kraft with a back injury on Wednesday. Also listed as limited were linebacker Edgerrin Cooper, receiver Romeo Doubs, running back Marshawn Lynch, cornerback Carrington Valentine, and running back Emmanuel Wilson. For the Eagles, just cornerback Isaiah Brown was listed as limited. Linebacker Devin White, he's out, didn't even make the trip. Follow me on X, Twitter, and I will post injury updates. Since it is game one, we only have last season's results and a lot of questions for these two teams. How did these teams finish in 2023? After narrowly losing to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in 2022, the Eagles started the 2023 season on a hot streak, going 10-1 in their first 11 games. But then the wheels just completely fell off this team. The offense struggled to score, the defense couldn't stop anyone from scoring, and they limped to the end of the season, finished 11-6, and proceeded to get blown out by the Buccaneers of all people in the first round of the playoffs. This led to the Eagles clearing house. They hired new offensive and defensive coordinators. Kellen Moore comes over from the Chargers, Vic Fangio from the Dolphins. The Packers, kind of a complete opposite. They struggled the first half of the season before Jordan Love and the offense got on the same page and finished the season 9-8. They make the playoffs, and they beat the Cowboys, but lost to the 49ers in the divisional round. Packers also fired their defensive coordinator after the season. When the Eagles are on offense, they have a very talented group of skill players, led by Jalen Hurts at quarterback, 23 touchdowns, 15 interceptions in 2023. Coming over from the Giants, free agent Saquon Barkley. He had 962 yards and 6 touchdowns with the Giants. A.J. Brown at wide receiver, 106 receptions, 1,400 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Devontae Smith at the other wide receiver, 81 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. And not to be forgotten, tight end Dallas Goedert, 59 receptions, almost 600 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Any of those guys can wreck a defense. But this Eagles team still managed to look lost on offense over the second half of the season, and there was definite tension at the end of the year. There are still a lot of questions. Can this offense rebound under new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore? How long will it take them to get up to speed? Will they still be able to do the tush push without retired All-Pro center Jason Kelce? If they struggle, are they going to implode like they did last season? Packers defense, on the other side, hasn't been very good in a couple years, including the last time these two teams played. In that game, Jalen Hurts tore up the Packers with his scrambling. This is not that defense. Joe Barry was fired, and new defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley is not going to be playing a passive defense. Personnel is different. Eric Stokes and Jair Alexander are actually healthy, but we still need to see how Eric Stokes looks like in real games. Behind them, the safety group is completely changed. Free agent signing Xavier McKinney and second round pick Javon Bullard are a huge upgrade from last year's safeties, but we haven't really seen in action what the final product for this defense is going to be. Keys for the defense: pressure and contain Jalen Hurts. With Travis Kelce gone, is the interior of the Eagles' offensive line vulnerable? The Eagles looked terrible against the Tampa Bay Blitz in the playoffs last season. Could the Packers duplicate that success? Packers defense needs to tackle well and can't let Saquon do what he loves to do and bounce things outside. These corners and safeties are going to get tested against those wide receivers, and they're going to need to make some plays. Much like to their offense, the Eagles' defense had a lot of issues over the second half of last season. Vic Fangio was brought in to try and get them back on track. He does have a lot of talent to work with. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter will anchor the defensive line. Darius Slay is a very good cornerback. Plus, they drafted a couple defensive backs very high in the draft. But how quickly can these guys get on the same page, just like their offense? Packers have faced a lot of coaches from the Vic Fangio tree. They're very familiar with his scheme, and they've had a lot of success. Packers offense looks mostly the same from last year, except at running back. Aaron Jones is gone. They brought in Josh Jacobs from Las Vegas, and he seems poised for a big rebound year after he had to shoulder the load of a pathetic Raiders offense last season. Packers are expecting him to return to his form in 2022, where he rushed for over 1,600 yards and 12 touchdowns. Jacobs gets to go from being the focus of everyone on the defense to being a compliment to quarterback Jordan Love, who flourished over the second half of 2023, finished with 32 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Love gets rewarded with a big contract, and he's going to be thrown to the exact same group of wide receivers and tight ends that he finished with in 2023. That's a big advantage. A lot of familiarity. And this is a group that really seemed to gel as the season went on. And it was such a young group of mostly rookies that we can't help but believe they're going to be even better in 2024. The offensive line returns pretty much intact, with the only question being when first round pick Jordan Morgan is going to crack the starting lineup. Regardless, the line should be better with another year of experience together. We saw the starting offense for exactly 3 plays in the preseason, and expectations are extremely high for this group. I expect that group to be really excited to get on the field. Keys to this game: protect the guy you just paid a lot of money to. Protect Jordan Love. Elton Jenkins, Josh Myers, and Sean Ryan on the interior of the Packers offensive line, they need to hold up against Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And while I think Jordan Love can and should have a big day, Josh Jacobs needs to get the ball. He's not Aaron Jones. Matt LaFleur cannot forget about him. One last key to this game: new Packers kicker Braden Narvison, who they are very high on, he needs to be perfect. Just make the kicking game a non-story in week 1. Last week, I predicted that the Packers would win this game, and here is my score prediction: Packers 31, Eagles 20. Please stay tuned for my gut reaction episode that I will have up either late Friday or early Saturday. That's going to do it for tonight. Again, please help me out and hit the subscribe button before you go. It is absolutely free. Have a great Thursday and Friday. Enjoy the game, and go Pack Go.